Borthakur IAS Academy, an endeavor of excellence.
Borthakur IAS Academy.
Hello friends, a warm welcome to Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparation. I am Atrey and today I am here with another segment of Current Affairs 365 dated 5th of June 2021. I hope you all are doing well and taking good care of yourself. Current Affairs 365 is your one-stop solution for any news and updates which will help you prepare for your civil services examination, and along with it, it will also be beneficial for any government services. So don't forget to like and share this video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram. So the first news of the day is on a report on World Employment and Social Outlook Trends, which has been released recently by the International Labour Organization. Now let us have a quick recap about the International Labour Organization. You all are aware of it, I'm pretty sure. This International Labour Organization was created in the year 1990 and as a part of the Treaty of Versailles that ended in the World War I. Okay, and it became a specialized agency of the United Nations in the year 1946. India is a founding member of the ILO with a total member of 187 member countries or member states, and in 2020 India assumed the chairmanship of the governing body of the International Labour Organization. It is headquartered at Geneva in Switzerland, and in 1969 this organization received the Nobel Peace Prize for improving fraternity and peace among nations, and also helped in pursuing decent work and justice for the workers and providing technical assistance to other developing nations. So now let us have a look at this particular report on World Employment and Social Outlook. This report mainly explains the impact of COVID-19, okay, how it had raised inequality in the labor market among the working professionals, okay, and many people, they have lost their jobs, and those who are working, they have lost their a significant amount of working hours. Okay, so we will discuss all these factors here, and separately we will also see what impact this pandemic had on women's employment rate. Okay, so we will discuss all these points one by one. First of all, coming to the direct impact of this pandemic, it has pushed over 100 million workers into poverty worldwide, and relative to 2019, an additional 108 million workers, they are now extremely poor or moderately poor, and they are living below the poverty line, which has been suggested by the World Bank. There has been a sharp increase in poverty rates due to the lost working hours as economies, they have went down into lockdowns, and outright job losses has also been a cause of the same, and there has been a decline in the access to good quality jobs. The pandemic has also aggravated the existing inequalities in the labor market, as the lower skilled workers, women, young people and migrants, they are the most affected ones. Then coming to the loss of working hours, many people, they have held onto their jobs, but they have seen a significant decline in the working hours. It has been cut down dramatically. And unemployment rate, if we consider the unemployment rate, then this year's unemployment rate is around 6.3%, and next year it is assumed that it will be falling to 5.7%. Women, they have suffered disproportionate job losses while seeing their unpaid working time increase. Unpaid working here, it means the burden of intensified childcare and the homeschooling activities. This have added an extra burden on their schedule, right? And because of this, women employment, it has dropped by 5% as compared to 3.9% for men. Concerted policy efforts are a must in order to prevent any long-lasting damage of the same, okay, because it has been presumed that there will be a pandemic's longer-term scarring effect on the workers and the enterprises. Moving ahead to the second news, it is about the glacier melt in the Himalayas, Himalaya, Karakoram and Hindu Kush mountain range, and the impact of black carbon on the same. Recently, a report has been released by the World Bank, okay, which is titled as Glaciers of the Himalayas, Climate Change, Black Carbon and Regional Resilience. according to this particular report, it says that the glaciers, they are melting at a faster rate than the global average of ice mass, and a strong policy on black carbon can sharply cut down the glacier melt. If we contain the use of black carbon, then this condition can be improved. Okay, so first here we will see what is this range all about, the Himalaya, Karakoram and Hindu Kush mountain range. This has been considered as the third pole along with China's Tian Shan mountain, because it holds most of the ice outside the north and the south pole. So this range is actually considered as the third pole, and this region, it spans over 8 nations including Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. And also we have to make a mention here that this particular range, it has some of the world's tallest mountain ranges, including the Mount Everest and K2. The glaciers which are present in these regions, they feed into the river systems that includes Ganga, Irrawaddy, Mekong, Yangtze, etc. And the water that runs down from these glaciers, it feeds the agriculture upon which nearly 2 billion people are currently dependent. So if we can save the glaciers in this region from melting, then we can save this large number of population, and along with that we can also save our environment. So first of all, what is black carbon? Black carbon is actually an aerosol, which is a suspension of solid particles or some liquid droplets in air. Okay, this aerosols, we all know that these are recognized as the second most important or dangerous anthropogenic means man-made agent for climate change. Okay, and these have got adverse effects on the air, which leads to air pollution. They mainly get emitted from gas and diesel engines, coal-fired power plants, and also from other sources that burns fossil fuel. So it comprises a significant portion of what is known as the particulate matter. It is one of the most common air pollutant. Okay, now this black carbon, it is a short-lived pollutant and is considered to be the largest contributor to global warming after carbon dioxide. And unlike any other greenhouse gases, this black carbon, it gets washed out quickly and thus can be eliminated from the atmosphere if we stop the emission of if we stop the emission of black carbon, then this can be its rate or its amount in the environment can be controlled quite easily in comparison to other greenhouse gases. The main source of black carbon in the Himalayan region are actually from the industry and residential burning of solid fuel, which accounts for around 45 to 66% of the regional man-made black carbon deposition. And this is followed by the on-road diesel fuels and open burning in the region. The black carbon deposits, they can be sharply reduced by an additional 50% from the current level if we adopt some new policies. Okay, and National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem is one of such policies that has been adopted by India, and it is one of the 8 missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. We all know the impacts of glacier melt, right? It leads to flash floods, landslips, soil erosion and glacial lake outburst floods also. This has got both long-term and short-term impacts. If we have a look at the short-term impact, then it leads to higher volumes of melt water that can replace the receding groundwater downstream, and in the long run, this decreased water availability would lead to can aggravate the water shortage problem of that particular location. So as preventive measures in the Himalayan region, they can reduce the black carbon emission from cook stoves, diesel engines and the open burning. That will have a great impact and can significantly reduce the radiative forcing. Radiative forcing is a measure to change the energy balance, which results from some forcing agents that can be greenhouse gases, aerosol, cloud and also surface albedo. Okay, so if we reduce the amount of black carbon, then in turn we are also significantly reducing the radiative forcing of that particular area. The third news is about introduction of a new window named the Green Gold Collection on the portal of government e-marketplace for marketing of bamboo goods. This window, it is actually a collective work of National Bamboo Mission and the government e-marketplace. This particular step, it is going to showcase a range of handcrafted bamboo and bamboo products, handicrafts, disposal and office utility products on the government e-marketplace portal. The main aim behind this initiative is to provide the artisans, weavers and entrepreneurs of the rural areas a platform which will give them market access to the government buyers. And also along with it, it will promote the adoption and use of bamboo products which will be in line with the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. The National Bamboo Mission, its restructured form was launched in the year 2018 and 19, which was mainly done, it was implemented in a hub and spoke model. In this model, the mentor institution called the hub is centralized, and this will have the responsibility of guiding the mentor institution through some secondary branches which will be called spoke. Okay, and through the spokes, the services that are provided will help them in self-improvement. Main objective here is to connect the farmers to the markets, which will enable the poor farmers to get a ready-made market for their bamboo, for the bamboo they have grown, and it will also increase the supply of appropriate raw materials to all the domestic industries. The nodal ministry here is the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, and this particular NBM, that is the National Bamboo Mission, it will also endeavour to upgrade the skills of traditional bamboo craftsmen as per requirement of contemporary market, and they will also have tie-ups with enterprises and some other premier institutes. Government e-market is a one-stop national public procurement portal which facilitates online procurement of some common use goods and services which are required by various central and state government organizations. The procurement of goods and services by the ministries and the central public sector enterprises, it is mandatory for goods and services that are available on GEM. It was launched in the year 2016 to bring transparency and efficiency in government buying process. And the nodal ministry here is Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Next, let us have a look at the report on the world energy investment which has been released by the International Energy Agency. So here in this particular report for the year 2021, we will see the key points of this report that includes increased investment in the energy sector, that it will cover renewable energy, fossil fuels and also increased emissions. Along with this, we will see what are the reasons of the increased emission, and finally we will see how we can control the increased emissions, which will help in protecting our environment and will also be useful in maintaining sustainable development goals. Okay. Before that, let us have a quick recap of the International Energy Agency. It is an autonomous intergovernmental organization established in the year 1974 in Paris, France. The IEA, it mainly focuses on energy policies that includes economic development, energy security and environmental protection. India became an associate member of IEA in March 2017, but it was in engagement with IEA long before its association with the organization. Recently, India has also inked a strategic partnership agreement with the organization in order to strengthen cooperation in global energy security, stability as well as sustainability. So now let us have a look at the key points of this particular report of the year 2021. First of all, as I have already mentioned, we will discuss the increased investment in energy sector. Global energy investment, it is expected to rebound in 2021, the current year, and it will increase 10% year on year to around 1.9 trillion USD. And most of this investment, it will flow towards power and end use sectors that will shift out the traditional fossil fuel production. Next, we will see the position of renewable energy and fossil fuels that is expected in this particular report. Okay, so first of all, renewable energy, it will have the largest share, around 70% of the total, and this will be mainly spent on new power generation capacity. Then coming to fossil fuels, production and exploration investment in oil, it is expected to grow by 10%, and this expansion in fossil fuel, it was planned with the help of some novel technologies like carbon capture and storage and bioenergy, which are yet to attain any commercial success. However, the above positive scenarios are welcoming, but still this cannot totally negate the increase in carbon dioxide emission, especially after the contraction in 2020 because of economic slowdown that has been induced by the novel coronavirus pandemic. Global emission, it is set to grow by around 1.5 billion tons in 2021, and many developing nations supporting policy and regulatory frameworks, they are not yet aligned with the long-term goal of net zero. Net zero emissions, it refers to the achieving overall balance between greenhouse gas emission that is produced and the greenhouse gas emissions which are taken out of the atmosphere. Now, one of the main reasons behind this increased emission is the emerging market. It is mostly responsible for demand growth, and also our country, it plays an important part in this particular block. Okay. Then secondly, China is also showing a tremendous growth and expansion in the coal-based power production. Their coal consumption in December 2020, it was a historic high, though the country had a commendable renewable growth. Okay. And then thirdly, we have to see the responsibility that is shared by the developed nations, which cannot be undermined here. Okay. Their in-country growth of emissions is moderate, but their exported emission is a matter of concern. Australia's exported emission through coal is double its domestic emission. So these are some of the reasons that has resulted in the increased emission. Okay. And although the United States, it has shown some renewed commitment to the multilateral United Nations system in order to tackle the climate change, but its fascination with cheap shale gas, it is creating an investment distortion which is adversely affecting the sustainability of developing countries like India. And the last news for the day is about the Covid-19 vaccine, 𝐎𝐫𝐶, which is India's indigenous vaccine, and it is currently undergoing phase 3 clinical trials. India has already placed an advance order of around 300 million doses of this new vaccine. This particular 𝐎𝐫𝐶, it is a recombinant protein subunit vaccine. That means that it will be made up of a specific part of the virus, the spike protein, which is available on the virus's surface. And this spike protein, it allows the virus to enter the cell of a body so that it can replicate there and cause the disease. But in case of this vaccine, here the protein alone will be given to the body, and it is therefore not expected to cause any harmful action in the body, as the rest of the virus will be absent. Here only the spike protein will be introduced. The rest part of the virus's body will not be present in the vaccine. Okay. And in this process, over a period of time, the body is expected to develop an immune response against the injected spike protein. So whenever the real virus, it will attempt to infect the body will already have an immune response to the same, and therefore the person is unlikely to fall severely ill. So with this, we have come to an end of today's session. I hope you all liked this video and this was useful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another session of Current Affairs 365 only on Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparations. Till then, take care, keep learning. Bye-bye.
Borthakur IAS Academy. প্রস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা।
Borthakur IAS Academy.